Well, I don't have my gas problem solved yet, but we're gonna keep at it here. I'm gonna pull the distributor cap off, see what the points look like. Cap looks great. Looks like new. Of course, my eyesight ain't that great, but from as close as I am here, they look kind of white and powdery. So I will file the points, or sand the points. Take that rotor button off so they're easier to get at. Let's see if we can get in there and sand those points a little. That fuel pump is clattering away, but I'm going to flip those points and see if I see any spark. Yes, so I'm sure we'll have spark. Let's see if I can get the cap back on. Cap is back on. Coil wires back in. Next I'm going to get spark plugs back in, I think. While I'm doing this, I have a heater going under the gas tank to warm that up, melt ice in it if there's ice in there. You know, I never thought of that, kind of stupid. When I drained the gas out, I said absolutely no water came out. Of course it wouldn't have. It would have been froze. So saying no water came out really meant nothing. I'm still thinking ice in the line because it was a running truck. Why would it have gotten plugged up with anything else? The gas wasn't really that gooey. And I think any other kind of obstruction, my air pressure when I blew through an air hose would have pushed it out. So I'm gonna just have that light heat under the gas tank for a while today to warm the whole gas tank up, or warm the gas up in it and hopefully melt any ice. Well, I'm back at it this morning. I've decided I'm gonna run an external fuel tank. I know I wanted to run it off the original, but I'm not gonna fight with it anymore at the moment in the cold. I still think it's frozen moisture in the pickup tube, and I'm gonna let it until the weather gets warm. So I want to scavenge this fuel filter off my parts truck and get the auxiliary fuel tank I last used on my 28 International when I started that last summer. So I'm getting at it here. Well, now I'm going to crawl underneath and hook this up to the fuel pump. Well, I just remembered where my boat tank was. I last used it on the G506. So I'm using that. So we're going to see if we can we should be able to prime fuel all the way through. Let's look out by the carburetor once. Oh, it's already squirting out there. So now we'll hook the fuel line back up here. Now I'm setting you up here. I'm going to turn the key on And with that clear float bowl, we're going to see if it fills up. There it's pumping gas in. Fresh gas. But I don't see the float moving up. I'm going to turn it off. I probably should have took the carburetor off, but I'm sure I will be. Let's tap on. Oh, there, now the float moved. I think it's time to put spark plugs in and see if it makes any noise. Now remember, I had put some acetone ATF in the cylinders. Now I'm going to give them all a little squirt of straight motor oil, because that'll help rings the seal up better. Now, you know, normally I'd be too cheap to buy new plugs, but I broke 2 of them, taking them out. And if you remember my G506, when I started that last summer, I cleaned the plugs, and it would just pop and fart. And I put in new plugs and it started right up. So I'm thinking, I thought I'd just put new plugs in this right away anyway, because it is going to be my driver. So what do you all think? Theoretically, it should just start and run. If gas gets through the carburetor, that's the one thing I didn't touch. And I don't know how strong the battery is. I think it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. I was actually hoping it might do something, but it hasn't even so much as made a pop. I mean, the gas level is down in the float bowl a long ways. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to look on to see what the temperature is. Well, I looked. It's 11 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to try it with a shot of ether. Didn't even try. Of course, who knows, the spark might be real weak with the draw it takes to crank the engine. I'm going to put the charger on it for a while. I mean, it's cranking pretty good for a 10-degree day. It's 11 degrees out. But I'm going to put the charger on it. Now I feel bad. I put the charger on it. In the boost position, and it fired. Just fired and stopped, but you missed the very first fire. So I'm going to try it again. Put it on boost and try it again. Well, there it is. It's running. No lifter noise. It's idling. The clutch is smooth. Isn't rusted tight. And that is very, very It is very, very quiet. I think it has enough mufflers on it. Let's get inside and see if it'll rev up a little bit. The engine sounds absolutely great. I'm a happy man. So we're going to shut her off for now and let the battery charge. I'm going to let the battery charge and a little later today maybe get everything out of the way and see if it'll move forward and backwards a foot or two. So first start, cold start in approximately 5 years. Now it's been sitting about an hour. Let's see if it'll start again. And I hooked the oil pressure switch back up. Of course, now I just see that the oil pressure switch, the hose broke off on the back here. And it has oil pressure because it's pumping oil out. We know it's pumping. There it is. That'll have to get this reconnected. Well, we know it's pumping oil. There's what dripped out the little bit I ran it out of that little capillary tube. And I'm gonna have to get a whole new one. That plastic is so brittle, you just bend. I know it's cold out, but still, you just bend it a little bit and it breaks. So I'm gonna play it safe and get a new one. So now I'm gonna set the camera up. I disconnected at the block again, put the valve back in there and shut it off so I can run it. And I'm gonna set up the camera and see if it'll move. So let's see if it'll start and move. It just sounds so good. I am a very happy man. Carburetor will probably come off and get all cleaned up. The new gaskets. First I'll just try, it runs so good, first I'll just try a float bowl gasket if it keeps dripping. Now, we saw it move. Now let's see if the hoist will go up. I wonder how steep that box will go. About like usual. So, very, very, very happy with this. That it's warming up. Now that it's warming up, I have the choke pushed in and it's idling just beautifully. Maybe all the carburetor will take is new gas underneath the glass filter. So, like I said, I'm very, very happy. I hope you enjoyed this. The next step is going to be working on the brakes. First thing I'll be doing is taking the master cylinder off. So thanks for coming along on the ride so far. All the results have been great, other than the gas tank, which in these kind of temperatures that could probably be expected. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Just had to show you one more thing here now that it's warmed up a little bit. Can't ask for much more than that, can ya? Well, everyone, I am happy as a clam. The truck runs so nice, and I just want to. I don't know how you put links down the connect or whatever, but I'm finishing this up with a screenshot of Ryan's Rescue Restorations. He's the man who hauled the truck here from Nebraska for me. He's in Michigan. He has a YouTube channel. And that's how I found him to move the truck. And he moved it for me very reasonably. Great guy to work with. So go check his channel out if you want to see someone moving anything and everything around the country. And if you need something, if you want to purchase something and get it moved home, I would highly recommend contacting him. So thanks once again, Ryan. You helped make this possible.